Right. Good morning. It's pouring. Like it's raining outside, which is probably a good thing because we got home at a little bit before midnight from fair last night. So at 6:30, well, just a hair before the alarm was going to go off, Tom went, "It's raining." And so I said, "Okay, I'm going to switch so I switched my alarms and got an extra hour of sleep. So that's a good thing. Okay. We are doing your spiritual power. Let's do the housekeeping. The housekeeping is simply me reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email info@creativelife.org. You get one email a week unless something unusual happens. No, hurricane season is over now. But, mostly it's weather related, but other than that, because it's a real person doing it, and he just doesn't have time for more than that. It tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So if it says click here now, it means it. And it is a blind CC, which means nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So there's that. Dante, what's the matter, baby? That cat. Okay. There was a follow-up to that. Oh, the social media. I only mentioned the social media because we don't monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to engage with the pages. Like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you are on. And then react, comment, and share to the individual posts. It bumps us in the algorithms. And that is the goal. More people will see our stuff. So it's a free and easy way that you can support the center. All right. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center and or Creative Life Spark. And I am the running Rev Ryan across all of the social medias that I am on. So there is that. Okay. Now, your spiritual power is an inspirational collection, or as Reverend Norm would call it, this is a library. Basically, it's a collection of Ernest Holmes' works that may not be found many other places. We happen to be working on living without fear, which turns out is a collection of his early Science of Mind articles, the magazine articles, which is why they have a different tone, because they were written for the magazine and they were written much more as Ernest having a conversation with us, which I really like, and they've been really interesting. So that's what that is. And today we are moving into part 3, the practical use of Science of Mind. And the little intro to this part says, probably the greatest single determining factor in our experience in living is what we think. Whether it be a matter of faith, supply, happiness, success, harmonious relationships, or any other aspect of our life, in and behind it is the causative creative pattern of our thought. Freedom from what we do not want and our emergence into a life that is more complete with all of those things which contribute to the welfare and happiness of ourselves and others would seem to depend on to what extent we are able to consistently control, guide, and direct what we are thinking. One such start is made, regardless of how meager it may be. Once such a start is made, regardless of how meager it may be, it is a foundation upon which we may build, until the time comes that we know with a confidence and a surety that when a particular constructive thought is entertained in mind, there will definitely follow a tangible manifestation of what that thought in our daily living. That didn't make sense. Let's see. Until the time comes that we know with a confidence and a surety that when a particular constructive thought is entertained in the mind, there will definitely follow a tangible manifestation of that thought in our daily living. There we go. To be able to accomplish this rests in understanding and using our minds in a specific manner. There is no formula to follow, but there is a technique to be acquired. So, the first article in this section in part 3 is mind in creative action. Whether the mind is in the body or the body in the mind, no one knows. No one knows what the ultimate of matter is, but that it is a formless energy seems to be the generally accepted theory. That this energy takes tangible form throughout all creation is obvious. Form is necessary to the expression of spirit, and without body or form, it would remain unexpressed. Theoretically, we believe that spirit, acting through law upon some cosmic energy, takes definite form for the purpose of self-expression. The mechanical processes involved are not essential in a philosophical discussion. Hence, we view the matter from the standpoint of cause and effect, leaving the ways, the methods, and the means to a more intricate analysis by the scientific mind. It seems evident that form is the result of some purposiveness in the universe, some force acting creatively through law, the result of which is the evolution of form or the physical universe. This concept has always been held and is continually referred to in most of the sacred writings. In the Christian scripture, we find such expressions as, "In the beginning was the Word, and all things were made by him, and the Word was made flesh." Pardon the cough, I ate cookies yesterday. There comes from antiquity a system of thought which has been more or less adhered to throughout the ages, teaching that the pure essence of intelligence, or the absolute, is the one reality, that all nature is a reflection of its ideas, and that all nature has no other source. Plotinus, considered to have been one of the greatest thinkers of all time, expressed the idea that nature is the great no thing, yet it is not exactly nothing, since it is its business to receive the forms which the spirit imparts to it. Some current day religious groups, harking back to this teaching of antiquity, misinterpret its meanings and proclaim the utter unreality of matter, and mistakenly conclude that the physical universe is an illusion. So if you ever wanted definite proof that Ernest does not believe that, there it is, right there. He does not believe that the physical universe is an illusion. And I think that he would argue, because I have heard Jesse argue, that when, and if you read Emma a little more closely, when she says matter is what is it? However she says it, that she's referring to not that it doesn't exist, but that it doesn't. Heck, yeah, never mind. I know what I'm trying to say, and it's not going to come out right, so I'm just going to leave it be. But right there, that is proof that Ernest does not believe that the material universe is an illusion. Now, the physical universe is not an illusion, although some may conceive it to be as such. Plotinus implied that nature is no thing of itself, and I think that's the argument that Jesse has made about what Emma says. It's no thing by itself. It doesn't exist outside of the divine. That's what I was trying to say. It lives by proxy. It is the projection of that which is something, but it does have a definite purpose, the expression of the spirit in tangible ways and in a concrete manner. To look upon a matter as an illusion would be a great mistake, would be as great a mistake as looking upon it as a thing itself. All right, that's going to require a thought and a little extra thought. The tangible world thus becomes a mirror in which is reflected the countless forms of the divine and infinite energy which we ascribe to the spirit. the absolute and relative are not opposites. Each is a complement of the other. We cannot have an absolute without a relative. We cannot have a relative unless there is an absolute. They are two aspects of the same thing. One is cause and one is the other effect. To suppose that which Ernest. Okay. To suppose that there it is. To suppose that which is created governs that which creates it is to fall into error. To suppose that the creator is absorbed by its creation is equally an error. To believe, however, that the creation is saturated with the essence of the creator seems reasonable, and that there is a certain eminence of the creator running through all nature seems reasonable. Also, okay, no fact is isolated. No form can be isolated from the principle which creates and sustains everything. In the mirror of the objective universe, we behold the marvelous manifestations of a subtle, invisible mind or spirit, and as we enter into communion with its innumerable forms, we are, through them, communing with the spirit itself. Forms come and go, but the creative principle remains intact. The spirit itself knows no time, yet all times must be included within it. It knows neither large nor small as size, yet all form is known to it. If we can learn to supply the material object with a spiritual significance, nature will more completely stand open to us. It will not be an illusion, but a sublime and necessary conclusion. Okay. Our conscious, constructive use of the law of mind exists to us only as a latent possibility until we specialize it. The declaration that it exists and that we believe in its possibilities is merely a statement of principles, a proclamation of our faith in the responsiveness of the spirit to the needs of humanity. But a proclamation of faith never built a house nor drove an automobile. Faith without works is dead. The law of mind is to be consciously used, definitely specialized. When we have freed ourselves from superstitions regarding spiritual things, we shall be ready to approach them intelligently and incorporate them in our everyday living. We should daily seek to do this in our use of science of mind. We have a creative intelligence, so we should use it. We are surrounded by a principle of law that creates to our thought, so we should consciously avail ourselves of it for definite purposes. Spiritual mind treatment is the act, the art, and the science of specializing the universal law of mind for specific and individual problems. The law is, but it must be used. Until the time comes when we use this law consciously and constructively, we will be using it unconsciously and perhaps destructively. For every time we think, we use this law. We should begin by weeding out all negative states of thought and learn to speak a straight, affirmative language. The universal gives to us through us. To believe that one is continuously guided by their acts let's try that again. Okay. To believe that one is continuously guided in their acts by a supreme intelligence is a better state of mind and more productive of good than to believe that one is subject to the caprice of fate. Our fate is within our own minds. Destiny is but the objective manifestation of mental states. Oh, which is why it's important. Destiny is but the objective manifestations of mental state, which is why it's important to, you don't have to jump on every single negative thought. We all have them. But it is important to notice if you have a trend of negative thoughts. And if you have a trend of negative thoughts, get help. And help can take any form. It can be regular spiritual practice on your own. It can be you working with a practitioner. It can be you working with a therapist. It can be you going to the doctor and saying, hey, you know what? I don't like how I'm feeling. What can we do about this? Diet, nutrition, exercise, medication. It's all included in this because Ernest says, it all comes from the mind of God. So don't freak out about every little negative thought because we all have them. I mean, God, watch the news. Just watch for the trend. And if you notice that the trend is getting a little weird, then that's when you want to do something about it. Okay. Success and failure are not things of themselves. They are simply modes of expressing the original thing. Thought should be daily directed and consciously controlled. It's like, where does your mind go when it wanders? That's what you want to know. If it goes to good places, you're probably okay. If it's going some other places when it's wandering, then that's when you definitely want to check your head. Okay. It is written that God's words are yea and amen, which means the infinite does not argue. The infinite does not argue, but meets every person's approach directly, always responding by I don't actually know what that word is. Acquiescence? Acquiescence? Is that the word? Okay. To every person's thought. Yeah, I guess so. Sometimes I look at words and they just don't look like what they actually are. And that was one of mine. I don't think I've ever seen that word written down before. All right. That's neither here nor there. The physical scientist readily acknowledges a reign of law. The forces of nature are not coerced. They are directed. So the power of mind and spirit need not be commanded, but commandeered. That's a really, okay. I like that. They need not be commanded, but commandeered. They are not reluctant. They are willing. And that's super important to know that they are willing. We are not fighting against a force that does not want to do. We are working with a force that absolutely wants to say yes, which is where we can get ourselves in trouble because occasionally we ask for things that we don't actually want. And those forces don't judge. They give us what we ask for. The universal flow is forever taking place. The turning of this flow into the channels of constructive thought is an individual act. The simplest approach is always the most direct. Believe, and it shall be done. Accept, and let it be done. Conceive the mind and no longer deny the greater possibility. Act as though I am and I will be. We must abandon our ideas to the supreme cause and wait for the harvest time with joyful expectancy. There should be a definite and conscious expectancy. We should feel as though the entire power of the Spirit is for us and never against us. All ideas to the contrary must be resolutely set aside. Remember that the spiritual mind treatment is neither wishing nor willing. It is an affirmation of the presence, the power, and the willingness of the divine to specialize itself for us, to meet every human need, to heal our bodies, to intelligently guide us, and to bring success into our undertakings. It is not through human determination, not by the power or by might, but by the silent workings of the Spirit through our organized thought that the divine imparts its power to humanity. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we produce? And that is a beautiful way to end that. I also like that he says, what did he say? It was there is no formula to follow, but there is a technique to be acquired. Which is good, because tomorrow we will do the technique of science of mind. So, interesting. And I'm running a little bit behind, so I'm going to wrap this up so that I can see you tomorrow. I'm just running behind in my morning. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of yourself day. You know, like I slept in an extra hour this morning. A you got this day, a let's get this week started off on the right foot day, or the left if you're a lefty, you know, whichever foot works for you. But you know what I mean. Make sure you take some time to laugh today. I'm going to dance in the rain today, although I'm going to put a coat on because it's cold day. Do what you got to do day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a drink plenty of water day, you will know the answer when you need it day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress. At the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to say, you are a godling. All right. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. As I said, I'm running a little bit behind, so I'm going to move on into the rest of my day. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.